So here we are at the Schultz and McDonald, thank you, wow, household in Ottumway, and I was thinking of their email address and it was messing me up, but, so this is the typical night at the dining room table, which is about 4 times the size of the dining room table at my house that fits Kona and I, and it has been quite entertaining to be here, I must admit. Enjoyable, but entertaining. And does anybody want to say anything to any of the people back home that maybe you had met when you came to Rhode Island? Don't sleep in a tent. Jacob, what about you? You remember the Rhode Island trip? Come on. No? We're not going to say anything.
What was your favorite part? Remember your
Okay.
favorite part?
Well, I think we'll sign. Oh, Luke's going to say something.
Oh, great.
Hey, watch out for Casey's brother.
I was telling stories about you, Bob. So, we'll talk to you guys later. Good morning! It is the day of departure from Ottumway, Iowa. And we have our waving off fan club here.
We do.
Yay! We really enjoyed our visit, and we want to thank the Schultzes for watching the bean for us.
Yeah.
You guys like having him?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're invited back.
Yes, anytime.
So we're on our way to Nebraska. We'll catch in with you when we get there. Well, it's about noon on Thursday, and Bean and I are driving across the last little bit of Iowa, headed to Omaha, Nebraska. And we just had a stop and a walk and a drink and a dingo. And we're having some ice chips right now. It's a little warm today. But can you say hi, Beanie? Say hello. He's comfortably in position number 1. And just a real funny story. Last night I was, of course, at the open house for the Lady Fit in Ottumway, Iowa. And, got talking to people, and they were asking me about my trip and traveling around. And I told them, where I'd been, and that I was planning a trip to New Zealand for the winter. And this woman said, oh, you're kidding, my son-in-law's from New Zealand. He's in the fitness business. He actually lives in Fort Collins. I said, Fort Collins, Colorado? She said, yeah. He works for a club. He's actually leaving. He's starting a new job. He was working for a club called Miramont Sports. I said, you have got to be kidding me. What's his name? Martin Jones. Okay, so here I am in Ottumway, Iowa, meeting a woman who's been a member of Lady Fit for years, whose son-in-law from New Zealand, who lives in Fort Collins, whom I know. 6 degrees of separation. 6 degrees, 2 degrees of separation. Amazing. So that was a pretty funny story last night, and I'm actually going to try to see him when I'm in Fort Collins visiting Cliff Buckholz's clubs, which is who he used to work for. So thought I'd share that story. Just one of those incredible stories when you're on the road in some small little town remotely, and you meet someone who someone who they know. Incredible. Well, as you can see, Beanie's had another difficult day at work with the Visit Our Club tour. It's now around 6:50. Whoa, bump. 6:50 on what day is it? It's Thursday. Don't even know the date, but it's Thursday, and we are approaching Grand Island, Nebraska. Our goal is to make it to Lexington, Nebraska tonight, to a campground called Johnson's State Park, recreational area or something like that. Pretty big place. I think it's a whopping $11 a night. It's a state park. And as you can see, it's pretty flat driving in Nebraska. And of course, as you would imagine, there is plenty of corn. We really haven't had too much of a break in the corn since we got into Indiana. So it's going to be fairly late when we check into our campsite, and we probably won't do any more video tonight. So here's checking out.